There are several moments in Hindi movies and series which are inspired from real life events, where these instances in some cases are just taken as a form of inspiration for a particular point in movies. In other cases, the real life footage of individuals is integrated into biopics by recreating it in the storyline. This often leads to audiences having flashbacks of when and how the incidents took place in real life, creating a sense of realism in the theatre experience, which is usually catered towards escapism and fictional storytelling. Taking a look at some of the most powerful and successfully executed sequences, here is Tried and Refused Productions with 8 spectacular Bollywood movie sequences recreated from real life events in India. Queen, an exceptional web series performed brilliantly, especially by Ramya Krishnan, is the MX Player Tamil web series titled Queen. Based on the book by the same name written by Anita Sivkumaran, the 11-episode series chronicles the life of the primary character, Shakti Seshadri, based on the late Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalitha. From her childhood foray into films, the relationship with MGR and her entry into politics. One sequence that especially stayed with me was in the final episode as MGR's grand funeral procession is taking place. While the character feels it is not her place to be in the procession initially, the lack of respect on her sheer existence compels her to be next to MGR. What is seen in the series is that the character is pulled away from the body, a sign of disrespect on their association and the politician's very presence next to MGR. In real life, Jayalalitha tried to climb up the gun carriage to sit with the passed away leader. She was supposedly assaulted and pushed off by MLA Dr. KP Ramalingam and the nephew of VN Janki. What many feel is that the incident was a catalyst for Jayalalitha to stand up for herself against an establishment and system that has never made her feel welcomed.
I think sometimes it's a good thing we really don't know what lies ahead of us. Because if I had known that I'd have to traverse such a difficult, rocky and thorny path, I'd probably have died of fear.
Yeah.
Sanju. While Sanju is a film that in retrospect was a PR attempt to showcase Sanjay Dutt as a victim of circumstance, even going further to showcase several historical inaccuracies to cater to a particular narrative, one thing that I believe cannot be denied is the transformative performance by Ranbir Kapoor as Sanjay Dutt. From his body language, dialogue delivery and even mannerisms, Kapoor in many ways embodied the essence of Sanjay Dutt extremely well. One sequence that especially stands out for me is when Kapoor steps out of Yarwada Central Jail, sporting the navy blue shirt and jeans with a single strap bag on one side, only to turn around and salute the national flag. Looking back at the real footage, the sequences are strikingly identical, a clear example of how, debates aside, Ranbir Kapoor possesses abundant talent that cannot be questioned.
कैमरामैन कामनी यूसुफ के साथ चांद नवाब, इंडस न्यूज़ करा। यार बड़ा बेगैरत आदमी, उधर से भाई, उधर से चले जाओ। कराची से अंदरून मुल्क लोग अपनों में ईद मनाने के लिए जा रहे हैं। क्या कर रहे हैं? बीवी उधर चलिए, 1 मिनट रुक जाना।
Bajrangi Bhaijan. One of the biggest hits in this decade was the Kabir Khan directed film Bajrangi Bhaijan. While the film and its storyline regarding getting a little girl back home across the border was heartfelt and sincere, the integration of a Pakistani reporter in the mix, Chand Nawab, played by Nawazuddin Siddiqui, was absolutely hilarious and inventive. A man who is professionally struggling to get the next scoop is introduced as struggling to report in a busy railway station as people without any care in the world cross the camera in front of him. The sequence is performed to the T, identical to the viral footage of the Pakistani reporter, also by the same name, Chand Nawab, who is talking about families going to celebrate Eid while the crowd, with no care in the world, disrupts his reporting.
That's the winning runs. Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Look at those eyes. Look at the swing.
MSD The Untold Story. Despite MSD The Untold Story focusing more on Dhoni's personal life rather than cricketing, which I was more intrigued about, it is undeniable that Sushant Singh Rajput embodied the exterior as well as the internal struggle of the aspirant cricketer from Ranchi with absolute ease. One sequence I believe, especially for many, that brought flashbacks to the glorious day of 2nd April 2011 was the final 6 executed to perfection by MS Dhoni. The close-up shot in MSD The Untold Story of SSR looking at the ball going towards the stands, knowing very well he has made the entire nation proud. Both the close-up shots look almost identical, and to recreate it is an example of the phenomenal performance by SSR. A legend agrees as well.
That expression on his face. Uska close-up hai TV mein. Trailer, yeah. It was, you can't make out the difference. So I was very keen to know.
The great thing is, sir, I was at that point of time also thinking that it's unbelievable.
I would also take this opportunity to tell you a little bit about how my team was able to catch the 2 accused, which were the last of the 6 remaining.
Delhi Crime. What I feel is still one of the most compelling crime thrillers to have been produced from India was the Shefali Shah starrer Delhi Crime that released on Netflix in 2019. Based on the horrifying Nirbhaya case, the series was both a combination of a gritty thriller that shed light on processes many people have no idea about and also showcased to the masses that it was actually a woman at the helm of affairs that was making sure the perpetrators are caught immediately. Shefali Shah's character, which is based on DCP Chaya Sharma, has incorporated the demeanor of the capable officer extremely well. If you see the back and forth between the show and the press conferences held by Chaya Sharma, you will notice the thought process behind Shefali Shah's character portrayal. A police officer whose interviews I would highly recommend you to check out. But the insight she provides regarding the functioning of the police force, especially regarding sensitive matters. Uri The Surgical Strike. Undoubtedly one of the most powerful films of last year was the action film Uri The Surgical Strike, starring Vicky Kaushal, Yami Gautam, Kirti Koladi and Mohit Raina in lead roles. While the film provided a slick action thriller dedicated to the armed forces, there is one sequence that stayed with audiences, especially due to its goosebump generating combination of acting performances, cinematography and careful use of background music. And it is when Sohani Kashyap, played by Riva Arora, the daughter of a martyred soldier, shouts the war cry in the funeral as the army shouts in unison for their lost brother. While the sequence generated abundant emotion, this scene is actually inspired from the then 11-year-old Alka Rai, the daughter of late Colonel M.N. Rai, who lost her father in battle in 2015 and shouted the war cry of the 9th Gorkha Rifles. The scene still sends chills down my spine and will for many years be remembered as iconic in so many ways. Black Friday. What many people may have forgotten about the gritty film Black Friday is that Imtiaz Ali was actually a part of the film as an actor. Based on the book written by Hussain Zaidi, Chapter 5 titled The Conspiracy, Yaqub Memon and Dawood Ibrahim showcases Imtiaz essaying the role of Yaqub Memon. The movie shows his character answering a journalist talking about his relationship with Tiger Memon and the various links his family has to the several individuals accused. The scene is actually recreating the interaction of Yaqub Memon with Madhu Trehan that originally aired on India Today in August of 1994.
16 तारीख में सुबह पुलिस को खबर दी गई कि श्रुति का कत्ल हुआ है।
Talwar. One of the most intense and thought-provoking thrillers in recent years was the Meghna Gulzar directed film Talwar. Based on the Arushi Talwar and Hemraj murder mystery, the movie aimed to look at police negligence, the witch hunt by the media, the anger and several theories of the public, and how despite several teams being formed, even of the CBI, we were left with nothing conclusive. The film recreated several sequences, including Nupur Talwar's interview with NDTV that was mercilessly examined and dissected by the public, and also the press conference held by the UP police where they even forgot the name of Aarushi Talwar. Talwar hands down was one of the most impactful and thought-provoking thrillers I have seen in recent years. Please do write in the comments below of movies in which you have seen striking similarities when real-life events were recreated.